Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Every week I comb through hundreds of DIY videos preparing for projects for our weekly maker show, Make or Break. Along the way, I find some good ones and some great ones. And right now, I'm gonna share them with you. This is Sarah's top 5 DIY workbenches. Alright, let's get started with number 5. Robert J Keller shared how to make a 1-hour DIY workbench using just 2x4s and a sheet of plywood. He started off by cutting all of his 2x4s to length, and then he assembled the base of his workbench using construction screws. He added these heavy-duty casters that are easy to lock and keep the bench still when you need it, but can easily be unlocked and pushed out of the way when you don't. All that was left was to finish the base and add the plywood top, and this mobile workbench is done. Matt Mecham is number 4. Matt wanted to make a DIY workbench that wasn't going to cost him a fortune to make and could double as an outfeed table for his table saw. Using some 2x4s and a couple power tools that are pretty common to have in your garage, he started working on the frame. When the frame was finished, he added supports for the legs and the plywood work surface, and with the help from his kiddo, he got the top screwed into place. This entire build was under $50 and would definitely help you out in a garage or shop. Next up is Pneumaticaddict at number 3. Alicia has had some issues with space in her shop, which, like many of you, is actually a garage that is shared space with everything else you own. So she set out with some plans from one of her Instagram followers as a guide to make a DIY folding mobile workbench. This is so convenient, especially if you really need to save space but are desperate to have a work surface. Using mostly 2x4s, she made the end panels, then moved on to the folding aspect of the bench that's made up of utility hinges, 1x4s, and plywood pieces. Next, she added the 2x2s for extra support for the sides and the top surface, and then added some casters to make it easy to move out of the way. Awesome job, Alicia! Number 2 is MakeBuildModify. This is a giant workbench weighing in at over 850 pounds of reclaimed lumber from an old barn, over 600 screws, and more than a gallon of wood glue. Justin started off this project by cutting the old boards down to size and running them through a planer. Next, he started assembling the mammoth-sized legs with biscuits, glue, and screws. He made sure to cut out the notches for the shelf during this part of the process to make assembly way easier. Now, he did run into a couple issues, but he worked through them, and the final product is a very sturdy workbench that is pretty awesome. Just hopefully he doesn't need to move anytime soon. Finally, coming in at number 1 is Third Coast Craftsman. Chris started by cutting down all of his boards closer to the lengths that he would need for the top and the legs. Then he brought everything over to the table saw to rip them down to 6-inch and 5-inch widths. Next, he laminated all of the boards together for the bench top, the legs, and the stretchers. Once the glue dried, he hand-planed all of the pieces, which is so dang satisfying to watch. Those curls though! So this landed at the number 1 spot for me because of his attention to detail and all of the hand tools that he used to make this. I personally would not have painted the base, but then again, I didn't put in all of the work either, so he can do with it as he pleases. Regardless, this is a killer workbench. Awesome job, Chris. Alright guys, do me a favor and like this video, and if you have not already subscribed, please do that now and hit the bell so you don't miss any of the shows that come out during the week. We'll see you then.